with poetic pronouncements that sound, on their own, like they might be true, although there might be a few flowery turns of phrase here and there. It does not do it with philosophical thought experiments that pump your intuitions up out of the ground like subterranean water, although you will encounter a couple of those. The primary tool of persuasion in this book is scientific study. Science is the best method by which we humans have been able to determine reliable facts about how this world works. So many other methods have relied too much on poetry and intuition, and have a bad habit of making failed predictions or being proven wrong in other ways, usually by science. But you do not have to be a scientist to enjoy what is being delivered in this book. The scientific studies are described in just enough detail for you to understand and trust the results that were obtained. And if you want to look up and read the actual scientific studies that I describe here, each chapter subheading has its own section in the notes at the end of the book, with some more in-depth discussion and lots of references. Here is what this book has in store for you. As each chapter moves along, it will stretch and expand one particular definition of who you are, or what the self is. Each chapter's minor stretching or expansion is designed to be small and gentle enough that it should not be too painful, mind-boggling, or unbelievable. Chapter 1 is designed to help you let go of your biases and assumptions about who you are, so you can approach the chapters that follow with an open mind. As you work your way from Chapter 2 to Chapter 3 to Chapter 4, the examples of scientific experiments will give you compelling evidence for expanding your definition of your mind to include all your brain and all your body. If that sounds obvious to you right now, then you are exactly the kind of person who should be reading this book. As you work your way from Chapter 5 to Chapter 6, you will encounter powerful scientific evidence for treating the tools and people in your environment as additional parts of who you are. If that sounds ridiculous to you right now, then you are exactly the kind of person who should be reading this book. You just might find yourself convinced to change your mind about what your mind is. Then, if you make it agreeably through Chapters 7 and 8, and to be honest, many readers will have objections there, you will see scientific evidence for non-human life, and even non-living matter, being intelligent like you, and even part of you. You do not have to accept the claims being made in Chapters 7 and 8, but you will find it worthwhile to peruse the scientific evidence. Let the evidence wash over you like a light rain. Put away your mental umbrella. Some of that rain will soak right into you, and some might bead up and slide right off. Then, when you move on to Chapter 9, the final chapter, you can see whether my summary will help you tie it all up and put a bow on what you've learned. That is what this book has in store for you. I certainly do not expect every reader to come along with me happily all the way through all 8 chapters of mind-boggling scientific findings. But I do expect you to give those scientific findings a fair shot at figuratively expanding your mind and literally expanding your definition of who you are. That's why you cracked open this book in the first place. Irrespective of how far you follow along with me in this book, my hope is that I can pull you along further than you would have gone while relying solely on your intuitions. Importantly, each chapter will not only get you to learn something new, but also get you to do something new with that fresh knowledge. At the end of each chapter is a Directions for Use section, aimed at having you try out some of your newly acquired wisdom in the real world. When you get into the habit of applying your expanded mind, and not just reveling in it, you will find that you can help introduce change into the world that makes it a better place for everyone and everything. As you will see in this book, the cognitive and neurosciences are showing us that who you are is much more than an immaterial soul. It necessarily includes the